Hello, welcome to the EMDESK introduction demo. Today, we will be going over a general overview of our solution and give you a better understanding of what EMDESK can do for your project. So to begin, I've already opened my browser and logged into my project on EMDESK, called Renaissance. Here, I can also switch to my other projects or create a new one. On the right-hand side, you will see your profile settings, where you can manage your account and subscriptions or reach help. Here, on the left side, you will see the main menu, which brings you to the main working areas, but we will get into that a bit later. So when first exploring the dashboard, the Cockpit section will be the first to appear. The Cockpit section is where the user will be able to get an overview of the project. Here, users can see the project status, progress, and completion, the overall consumption, your favorite work item, recent activities and updates, what's next or overdue about followed elements. For certain users, some of these views could be restricted, depending on the user's permission in the project. But of course, if you are the project manager, you will be able to see everything with total access. The activity stream is an audit trail that provides accurate logs of actions and activities of members in the project. It's more or less the overview of the updates and changes that have been made by users in the project. The activity stream gives transparency and control as it recaptures what has been changed, added, and updated in the project. It shows you all activities throughout the project, what has been created, what has been edited, what has been removed, and so on. Each log entry is linked to whatever item that has been altered or created. The item can then be viewed in a sidebar, which makes viewing the changes easily accessible. The Notification Center shows each project member's messages and alerts. Notifications are user-based, which means that they only receive notifications that are relevant to them. If the message is addressed to them, or if they're involved in the item, when a user follows the item. The user is also notified directly about new notifications in the bell icon at the top while working in the project, and also, if enabled, the user can receive notifications summarized in regular email reports. As in the activity stream, each notification, in-app or email, is linked to the user or work item that you have been notified on. And you can click on the link and it will send you directly to the item in the sidebar. The Workplan is where you can plan, create, access, and work on all projects, activities, and events. You can draw up your projects broken down into any desired hierarchical structure, such as work packages, tasks, subtasks, with deliverables and milestones, with custom names and identifiers. In my project, I have 8 work packages with tasks and even subtasks. The Workplan also gives you all the flexibility to organize the work of not only one, but several projects, each with their own work breakdown structures. As in my other workspace with 4 projects, each with their own work packages at the second level. Your work can be managed using different views: Table, Kanban, and Gantt, giving an overview of the planned work and progress and providing each team member their own preferred way of working. Similarly to Excel, the table view is a collapsible spreadsheet list of the hierarchical project plan with all activities and events. All activities, events, and their properties are listed in columns and rows. The columns show all the information about them, such as identifier, name, timing, budget, costs, status, and so on. The table columns are customizable to your preference, and you can hide or display columns as needed. The data can be filtered so that only work packages, tasks, or milestones with your selected parameters are displayed. These filters can also be combined in order to drill down the exact data needed. This custom view can be saved in a tab or exported in an Excel or CSV. The Kanban view focuses on the status of the activity or event. Activities and events are organized into cards in different columns based on their status. The columns represent the different stages. For example, activities that are in progress, activities that require input, activities that have not been started yet, and so on. You can create your own workflow and customize the statuses in their order in the settings page. To quickly check further details, simply hover over the bottom edge of the card. As in any other view, click the activity or event to open it in its sidebar. Any item in your project workspace can be opened in the sidebar, which is the central working instrument. but we will look at this later. As the activity, deliverable, or milestone progresses, you can drag the card and drop into the right column to update the status. The Gantt view shows the work breakdown structure as a visual project timeline, along with the progress of the activities, milestones, and deliverables, and dependencies between them. Each activity is shown as a bar indicating timing, progress, and deviation. Milestones and deliverables are shown as a package or diamond icons. Hovering over an activity or event reveals further details on the status. Clicking a bar or icon brings up the element in the sidebar again. Any item in your project workspace can be opened in the sidebar, which is the central working instrument, whether it is a work package, milestone, document, or something else. At the top, you will see tabs. The first tab is the Edit tab. This tab allows you to update the activity or item details, title, work description, timing, and other planned properties. Once the information is final, project managers can click the Finalize toggle at each element. Then it is locked and no further changes are possible. This allows you to approve item by item. For example, work package by work package as you plan, or expense by expense while reporting. To mark the item as one of your favorites so that it is always highlighted, click the star icon. To start following an icon so that you may stay notified about the changes, updates, and comments, click the follow icon. The second tab is the Updates tab. This tab shows the progress on the activity or event, the consumption in effort and cost, the current timing, and the history of the status updates reported in chronological order. To report a new order, you click here, enter the new status and completion, and click Save Update. To approve it, mark it as finalized to lock the entry. The next tab is the item's activity stream. This tab shows the history of all actions made by users around this element, such as any changes that have been made, or updates, or expenses. The next tab is the Documents tab. This tab is where you can share your documents related to the element with other project members involving this item. Click here on Attach Document to upload a new document or an existing one from the repository. We will explain this document section later on. The Discussions tab is where you can start discussions and converse about the item with all followers. It is an efficient way to communicate, as discussions allow you to include users or groups by mentioning them, or to tag other projects' items like work packages, tasks, expenses, or documents. Followers and mentioned team members now get notified by an in-app notification, and, if enabled, an email to their inbox with a link bringing them directly here. The tagged items are linked directly to the entry so that they don't have to waste time to look for it. The final tab is the Access tab, which is only available to the administrators and managers. Here, you can manage followers and other users' access rights level to this element, but we will look into this access management later on. There's also the option to switch to the full screen mode. In a way, it is somewhat like the activity or event's own dashboard view. In the full screen mode, you can see more options such as budget and expenses for this activity. You may also access the overall budget and expenses in the Resources section, but this will be explained later on. The sidebar also comes up when you create elements, as here in the Workplan section where you can create new activities and events. Here in the section Participants, you can organize and manage the entire project consortium, such as your partners, contractors, or other stakeholders. But you can also map your organizational structure here, such as departments, teams, and each individual personnel, however you feel will benefit your project. Click a participant to open the sidebar. Similarly to the Workplan section, there will be tabs at the top of the sidebar. The first tab allows you to update the participant's details, name, description, etc. Then, we have the Documents, Discussion, and Access tab. But for participants, we also have the Financial Profile tab. Here, you will be able to manage personnel and indirect cost rates. You can define different personnel cost rates for the participant. It could just be one average cost rate or specific rates for each collaborator. Based on these rates, you will be able to budget or record personnel efforts and cost. To create a new participant, click Add Participant. The sidebar appears. Enter the details and click Save Participant. The Resources section is where you manage the budget together, and everyone reports and updates the effort and expenses. To create a budget, click the Add Budget button. The sidebar will be pulled up where you are asked to enter the details in the new budget entry. Now, let's create a personnel budget. First, select the activity for which the budget is planned for. Select the participant for which provides the resources. So here, it is important to know that we, as a user with managing rights, are able to plan budget for any activity for any participant. However, for other team members, you might have restricted access to the participant and maybe even for select activities only. So, they will only be able to plan budgets for their participants. Let's continue. Select the cost category, which in this case it would be personnel. The indirect cost rate automatically pulls up as defined in the participant's financial profile. Then pick the cost rate. Once the cost rate is selected, you will see that the field to enter the effort appears at the top, right next to the budget field. Now, you can choose your unit, either person month, person day, or person hour, and enter the effort. You will see how the personnel budget is auto-calculated based on the selected rate. Adjusting the personnel budget will then automatically adjust the effort again, and the other way around. A budget can also be created for other categories, for example, equipment. You also have the option to plan the budget for a specific time period. This can apply if you plan to use this budget in the first 2 months of your activity duration, for example. As a last step, make sure you've entered a short description, then click Save Resource. The new budget is then added to our budget list, showing all our budget items as planned together with our team members for their participants. Users with restricted access see only their budget. The list is like a spreadsheet, where you'll be able to see the columns totaled at the bottom. Using the table header filters is an easy way to refine your view and narrow data down to specific dimensions, to find the exact numbers you're looking for. For example, all personnel costs for participant 2. As in any table view, the columns are customizable. You can hide or display columns as needed. And of course, this custom view can be exported into an Excel or CSV file. With the quick action menu at each record, you can approve record by record and mark it as finalized, locked, so no changes are possible anymore. Reporting expenses works in a similar way as planning the budget. However, expenses are tied to an actual occurrence date or period. To record an expense, click the Report Expense button. The sidebar comes up again, and now enter the expense details. Now let's record a personnel effort. Set a reporting date. This could be an invoice date or the date of the payroll. You can also report individual amounts as an aggregated collective amount that has arisen in a specific period. For example, personnel effort for this month. Then select the activity for which the expense was incurred. Select the participant, which provides the resources. Here again, you might have restricted access for some users, so they will only be able to record expenses for their participant or even certain activities. Select the cost category, again, personnel. The indirect cost rate is set again automatically. Then pick a cost rate. Now the effort field appears again. Feel free to switch to another unit and enter the effort. The personnel costs based on the rate is calculated. You can now adjust the calculated amount, which would again update the effort. Now enter a short description, and then click Save Resource. The new expense is added to the overall costs and shown in the expense table together with all expenses reported by other team members. Again, users with restricted access see only their expenses. As in the other table views, you can also use the table header filters here to drill down into specific data, customize columns, and export the view. All of the views in EMDesk can be pinned to a personalized tab, saving your preferred view with all selected columns and filters to your account, specifically for you. Now I'd like to show you how our project plan versioning works. The plan data, which we have created, planned together, all of it is actually contained in a project version. And once you see the need for a project plan update, we can create a new version based on our current project plan, basically a copy. This version can now be updated and adjusted as needed. The work plan, the participants, the budget, and so on, until the version fits the new project requirements. Then click Activate to start running your project on the updated baseline. You can always discard the changes and roll back to the previous plan at any time. In Analytics, we can generate different prepared reports based on our current project data and status. For example, the reports on the participants and cost category. The report pulls the data from the planning and reporting sections and summarizes it in a meaningful way and presents it with tables and charts showing budgets and expenses of cost and effort. The data presented can be configured and filtered or exported. In Documents, you will find the shared repository where you can share your documents and organize them in folders. You are able to follow any actions and changes, start discussions, and manage accurate access rights. Documents can be uploaded and sorted by dropping them into the folder. New versions of the documents are tracked and can be restored. In the Documents section, you can also create and work together on Word documents in EMDocs, EMDesk's secure, privacy-focused online document editor built for collaborative teams. Here, you can easily create new documents by either choosing from a blank document or from a wide variety of templates, such as proposals, reports, and other pre-made documents. Invite team members to join you as you work on the document together. As authors collaborate on the same document, redundant file versions emailed back and forth are eliminated. No more time-consuming merging of different files. You can work on large documents with hundreds of pages and easily scroll and navigate through the entire document. All changes are automatically saved as you type without having to handle manual backups. And at any time, you can download your document as a Word document. Under Contacts, you can access the contact directory showing all workspace members with their contact information. It's also here where you can start a meeting with your team members directly from your workspace in EMDesk. Enter the meeting's topic and then select the attendees. You can add users or invite entire groups. Then click Start Now to begin your call. You can start a meeting from different places in your workspace whenever you need. For example, you can call a team member directly by clicking the video call icon in the contact card, or start a meeting directly with all members of a group. In the Users section, administrators and managers manage the project users and their access rights in the project. To invite a new user on the project, send them a project invite. You can give users different access roles. You can decide between admin or manager, which gives them full access, or you can choose to give them none of these roles and then set precise access rights for various different sections, even custom rights for each specific project element. As your project team grows, you can create groups, add members there, and manage their access at group level. Adding and removing members from the group will update their rights with a few clicks. The project groups are managed in the group sections. There, you are able to create new groups and organize your users into groups. Besides access management, you can also enable the group mailing list. This will create a group email address that you can use to send emails to all group members from your inbox. This facilitates a much easier way to communicate between certain users. At last, we have concluded the general overview of EMDesk and all of its utilities. Please feel free to visit our website at emdesk.com for more information. I hope you received a clear intro to EMDesk today. Thank you so much for listening.
EMDesk. Focus on research, drive innovation.